All right, so good evening. My name is Craig Blanchette, and I am a certified optimal health and lifestyle coach. And it's my pleasure to bring you some exciting stories tonight. One of the things that I find is critical in our journey to optimal health is to have inspiration. Inspiration gets us started. Inspiration keeps us going. And sometimes when you go and listen to a great concert, you're inspired somehow by just listening to the music. And so inspiration is a critical piece of growth and change. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to share some stories. Hopefully you'll be inspired. Maybe you'll just make one small health decision. You'll maybe start drinking some more water, or maybe you'll start moving or getting better sleep. Who knows what it is, but in the end, we're trying to build these healthy habits into our lives. And if you're inspired to begin to do something more healthy after this, then we've done what we've set out to do. Some of you may want or need a lot of help. And if you want lots of help, you can connect with the person that invited you here. And most likely they're a health coach, and they have some tools and a process that they're involved in personally that they can help plug you into as well. And so that's an option as well. I'm going to start off with my story tonight. I got a before and after picture here that I want to show you all. So this is a little bit about my journey. I've been a health coach now for coming up on 6 years. But it didn't start there. I was a professional wheelchair racer. Started racing wheelchairs back in 1986, and had actually a pretty aggressive career where in 87 I set 2 world records, and then in 88 I went to the Olympic Games and won a bronze medal. And over my career, I set 21 world records and was an 8-time world champion and, like I said, an Olympic bronze medalist. And so I was very focused on going fast and being fit. But I didn't really have a good understanding of what optimal health was and really a balanced life. My life was very much out of balance because it was all focused on racing fast. That was my goal. And I did that a lot. And so as I started to develop a family and got married and developed a family, I got a traditional job and, wasn't as focused on going fast as I used to be. And so I started gaining some weight, and over a 5-6 year period, I put on 50 pounds. And for me, you can see in the picture on the right there that I do use a wheelchair. I'm only 3'9". And so adding an extra 50 pounds to my frame changed my freedom drastically. It wasn't nearly as easy to get around. And so that was a big problem for me. And so fast forward, 10 years, I found a coach that was helping some people, and I got connected with them, and I was able to lose that weight. But again, that was 6 years ago. So the skills that I've learned and the tools that I've been able to incorporate, by the way, this community is one of the things that's a big asset for me, has taught me basically not only just how to get the weight off, but how to become healthy. And so I'm super excited about that. So, and so I just took that shot on the right. That's a representation of 50 pounds of sugar, essentially, that's no longer, I'm no longer packing around. And so that's my story there. And I'll let you ask some questions maybe at the end. I want to jump right into our next story here. We've got 2 people, Jamie and Nick White, and they, I've got a story, they're before and after pictures here. And so I want to introduce them and have them tell a little bit about their story, and then we'll have a few comments there. But tell us a little bit. Are you guys there, by the way? Let's make sure your audio is working.
Hi, we're here.
Okay, awesome. You guys are in your mobile sound lab. Love it.
We are.
Yep. Man, you guys look so different. Why don't you start off just with talking about the picture on the left? Where were you? How are you feeling? Kind of what, as you look back on that picture, what does that say to you?
Yeah, that picture on the left in July, we were in Mexico celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary, and we were realizing on that trip that something needed to change. We went on a jungle tour one day. We were rock climbing.
We're
We were
trying to rock climb.
trying to rock climb. We were zip lining, and it was just not as easy as it
as
could have
we
been.
had, as in our mind it should have been,
Okay.
what it could have been. Yeah, we have 3 small kids, so we're in the middle of family life. And just 10 years ago, we sort of looked like we do now. And in the last 10 years, we just have been doing life and loving food and, you know,
Yeah, we've pretty much felt not in control, and we've had um, just let life sort of dictate our circumstances in that regard, and just to the point where it's become uncomfortable. We haven't been able to be as healthy or energetic as we would like to be with our own kids, and we just want to feel better in our own skin. And so we sort of had a moment of reckoning there right after our trip to Mexico, and that's where we kicked things into gear with the help of Jay and Linda, who are on too.
we had met Jay and Linda on the 4th of July, and they started talking about just how they were drinking water and how they changed some things. And she looked at us and goes, "I can help you lose 20 pounds in 3 months." And I laughed. I thought, there's no way that I could lose 20 pounds in 3 months. Once we started plan, we lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And just stuck with it. And she challenged me to start drinking water. And so I started just drinking water, and I lost 4 pounds drinking water. And I thought, this is the craziest thing in the whole wide world, drinking water. Lo and behold. And we're from Colorado, so like water is vital where we live. We don't have water just floating around in the air. So, yeah, we started August 17th. And by November 23rd, we were down 100 pounds. And then we're down a little bit further since then. And now we're trying to cruise through Christmas without gaining much more. We're down in Georgia right now, so that's a whole new world of food.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
Well, and I know that recently you had kind of a surprise where you were sort of secretly on this mission to get healthy, and it was so profound. And then you had sort of your reveal with your family. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, my parents came out from Georgia back in middle of August, the couple of weeks before we started the program, and so we literally got our
we got our food 2 days before they left.
We did, and we started the program the day after they left. And so ever since then, we've just sort of been focused and completely just taking care of ourselves, making healthy choices, healthy habits every day. And I didn't tell my parents, my family, what we were doing. Jamie had come down here for a trip to see a college roommate in October, so they noticed some changes in her. But we didn't say anything that I was on the program as well. And so as soon as we got here on Christmas Eve, we drove all night from Colorado, and we pulled in my parents' driveway. We happened to pull in the neighborhood just as they were getting home from running Christmas errands. And so they got out of the car and they saw us, and they were just literally, their jaws were dropped to the ground because they could not believe that what they were seeing. They were just like, "Where did you go?" And it was just really, that moment was worth it for us because, I grew up in a culture here down south where we love to eat. Our habits have not always been healthy. A lot of fried, starchy foods growing up, not great water drinking habits, exercise, very sedentary lifestyles. In a lot of ways, my family has dealt with a lot of disease management rather than preventative care. And so I think deep down there was a part of me that wanted our testimony to be that we took control of this and we're making healthier choices, and we want to be a good example for them, and we want them to see that you can do this too. This is possible. And we got that reaction all throughout Christmas. "What are you doing? what's your secret?
Yeah, they
How can
all
this work
wanted
for
to
us?
know what's your secret, and we kept going, water. You need to drink water. Just start with the water. We didn't love that answer, but at least we kept saying it. So that was a great shock. He also anytime we FaceTimed with his family, we always showed the kids, or he would pull a Wilson from Home Improvement, and he'd hide his eyes, or he'd be hiding. And his mom commented, she goes, "I wondered why you were hiding so much, or why I never saw you, and now I know." So we asked for gift cards for Christmas, and she goes, "Now I know why you wanted gift cards."
Well, why is that?
We have no clothes. We have just enough clothes to cover ourselves for the moment. But oh my goodness,
And be careful not to buy too many, because you're probably in a transitional stage right now.
Yeah, we're trying to go slow, but man, my belts don't work anymore. I had to.
This has been a good problem to have.
Yeah.
And so we're just thrilled to be able to go into a dressing room. We were just tonight trying on clothes, and it's just a great feeling where you look in the mirror. And before, I used to hate going clothes shopping because I hated trying things on. I hated how that experience just made you feel. But just to gain more confidence and to be able to look in the mirror and be like, wow, that looks good, or I have a shape again that's narrow and it's not as
I kept telling him, he'd come out and I'd say, "Don't suck in." And he goes, "I'm not sucking in." I was like, "Oh, good. Oh, okay, good.
It's funny, when you started the program, a lot of people have concepts about, the expense. Is this costly? And I often think of, you guys just shared something that was valuable to us, and it was an experience that you would not have now had you not started. And Nick, what you just said there, you went into the dressing room, and it was just this. It was almost a priceless feeling that you're like, I'm doing this. I'm like taking care of myself, and it's like, how can you put a price on that, really? And I don't know.
You long for that, you hope for that feeling, and so many times before, we would get motivated to try and achieve that goal, but then we would fall off the wagon somehow and never reach that goal. So it's almost like we constantly felt like we were dealing with feelings of failure.
Yeah.
But then we, became a part of a community that encouraged us, that never looked down on us, that if we had a moment where we weren't successful, it was always, okay, well, what's the next habit we're going to pick up? What are we going to do the next day or the next meal? And so it became a meal by meal decision, and rather than just something, that we had to just give up on completely, because we knew that we could just pick ourselves right back up and start this again. And that's been the most encouraging thing for us, really. I went into this program with a lot of skepticism and doubt, because I knew I had good intentions many times before when I started the program, and I wondered if this is something that would stick. But I've been so amazed at how simple it's been, how effective it's been, how it's just been very conducive to our lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been good too. I mean, it's hard to put in words until you can experience it. You're going to always have to work through mental challenges, mental obstacles, things that will try and tell you you can't do something, you can't do this. And all of a sudden, then you start doing this and you get successful, and you have little wins and little victories that start adding up to big victories.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the payoff there, is that everything that you build up and that feels impossible starts becoming possible. And that is what is motivating us. And we are so excited that we're not just starting completely from scratch anymore. We're right at a place where
we have
we're
a plan
successful.
and we know how to do it. And it makes sense that, even if we don't follow it perfectly, we know we can.
Mm-hmm.
And we will, and we can keep going.
Well,
and
life's not perfect too, and you're navigating, but you just said you have a plan, and as long as more days you work your plan than more days you don't work your plan, eventually it's going to work out. It's just, I love what Linda said to you. What's the you said your relatives, what's the secret? And it wasn't some magical thing. It seems like water. What?
Yeah.
You mean the stuff I flush the toilet with? That stuff?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, yeah. It's like, yeah, it really is. There's no magic here. It's actually it's basic habits that aren't like, you don't put it on a billboard. Health, water. You know, who says that, right? Sleep. Boring.
Yeah.
But it makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. And we've been talking through the cost of it and how we're so thankful we took the investment, that we saw that this was an investment into us and that we did it, and now it's paying off. Our investment is multiplying.
Yeah.
Right. One other thing for me, I have to put that in there. Just a couple weeks ago, before we left on our vacation, I went back to the doctor and had some blood results done because I wanted to see. I had been taking cholesterol medication, blood pressure medicine. Well, I'm not taking blood pressure medication anymore. That's completely gone. And my total cholesterol is down 100 points. I mean, this was something that, to me, I never thought I would get there to that point. And I mean, that's another one of those non-scale victory moments that, I look at that, we're gonna go readjust our life insurance costs because now we have better results to show for it. I mean, stuff like that is just,
we're gonna save money on our life insurance because we invested money in ourselves. So.
Yeah. It's actually, the investment you're making is the best health insurance policy on the planet, if you think about it. So, and then I know that some people may not know this, but one of the components of our program is the ability to not just to help yourself. Sure, we want to help ourselves, and that's really, really important. But there's something unique about sharing what you have, not with people that aren't interested, right? But most people are interested when you talk to them about feeling better. And some of the things, would you like to come out of a dressing room and say, nailed it? I mean, what would that mean to you? And so those are the kinds of things. So I know you guys are going through our health coach training program. And I'd love to hear just a little bit about sort of, I know you're at the beginning stage of that, but what that looks like to be part of, I mean, what you're experiencing is what Linda experienced with you guys. Think of how cool that is. And I know you guys know what that feels like. Now you know how Linda feels and how I feel and all that. But talk just a little bit about your decision and what that's looking like, because you guys are a busy family.
We really have found that we talk about it all the time, and helping people just becomes natural because we're walking billboards of this, and we want to help people. And when we come across someone, we just want to share our secret of water, of sleep, and then the encouragement that we've received from Linda and from you, and just knowing that it's okay to have a bad day. That's something that we never had received before, that it's okay to have a bad day. What are you going to do tomorrow? It's okay that you made a bad choice. Let's not dwell on it. Let's not make it again. And let's equip you. And so we're looking forward to equipping people to make healthy choices and to make lifelong changes.
Yeah, we're still smack in the middle of our own health journey. I mean, there's that part of me that felt like, are we ready to jump in and be a coach when we're not even through our journey yet ourselves? But that's just it. We're at a perfect place where we feel like we could come alongside people too that are getting started, that are walking through this, because that's where, we've been and we continue to be. So it's not like we have to reach a goal and then say, this is it, we've arrived, because every single day we have to make decisions to eat, to take care of our health, to make healthy choices. And that's going to be something that will last a lifetime. So we're just jumping in right where we are. And it's sometimes intimidating and scary, but at the same time, I think it helps us to walk alongside someone that's just getting started too.
I'm such a mom of preschoolers. Like, I feel like I discovered a park and I want to share it with everyone. Like, I don't even know it all yet, but this is really cool and it's really fun, and come with me and let me show you what
Yeah.
I learned and what I know, because it's really neat.
Yeah, I love the idea of park. I mean, I called you today and you were actually at the park playing.
We were at the park.
So funny. Well, and so what's really interesting too, or what the beauty of it is that both of you are here. I have worked with individuals and I've worked with couples, and without a shadow of a doubt, when couples, everything, your marriage gets healthier. I had a client tell me that this is the best marriage counseling we've ever had. And I'm thinking, I'm not marriage counseling. It's like, well, we're just not focused on ourselves as much. And we're starting to focus on the other person because we're feeling so good about it. I mean, it's just like this dynamic that happens. And so I love the fact that you are doing this together, because this is not a thing you're doing. This is something you're becoming. And when you guys become healthier together, everybody wins. Your kids, especially your kids,
Yeah.
So good. Yep.
Yeah, they're picking up a lot of habits, and they're 5, 4, and 2. I mean, they drink water like it's going out of style. They don't know anything else.
Exactly. Well, let me. So, thank you guys for sharing your story. I want to dive in and give you guys a little bit of some of the strategies that we're using, sort of an overview of what many of us are doing, and then some of the strategies. You've heard water is a big one, right? And so, a lot of us have our water. Who has the water with them tonight? Show us your water. Yep. Look at all you guys. Good job. And but in the end, our program really is a process of installing healthy habits, and we have to first learn what actually is healthy versus what someone's trying to just trick us into thinking is healthy. I thought that rice cakes were healthy, and if it said healthy on the package, it was healthy, right? Not necessarily, right? Healthy means a lot of things to a lot of people. So our program was created through Johns Hopkins University and the National Institute of Health, as well as with a doctor named Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson, and he's a top of the line, big dog when it comes to doctoring and critical care. And he found that people could lose weight, but if they focused on weight loss, lots of diets work to lose weight. But then people say the diet didn't work because somehow it didn't magically keep the weight off. And diets aren't designed to keep the weight off. Their diets are designed to sort of come to an end. And that's the problem with the diet, is it eventually comes to an end. And so our program is really a lifestyle process that as you learn these healthy habits, and if you're not as healthy as you want to be, you just need to learn. You need to find out what habits you don't have that you need and learn how to do those. And for me, I'll be working on my health for the rest of my life. It's David Miller, one of my mentors, said, "Health is like laundry; it's never done." So we're always working on it. And if you don't work on it, you know what happens, right? You get things you don't want, really. And so our program is basically designed to help people learn how to shop, how to order, how to cook, how to portion control meals, right? So we deal with food and how social situations, right, where you're eating and there's expectations if you're a host and expectations if you're a guest, and all these different things that we actually deal with when it comes to life. And for people that need to lose weight, we have a specific strategy that we help your body burn fat. And we do that by eating 6 times a day, very specific things, and drinking water and sleep. And then once you get to your goal weight, which people very often they get there, they actually achieve not their weight in their head, but the weight that's in the green zone here on this BMI chart. It's the healthy weight, and people get there all the time. And then once you get to your healthy weight, we transition you into a strategy that works for maintaining with your schedule and lifestyle. Sometimes people have a lot of time on their hands and they have a lot of ability to prepare lots of meals. Some people don't. So we've got strategies for both. So we have a nutrition plan that's encompassing, and it depends on where you're at as to which one we recommend to begin with. The second tool that we use is called the Habits of Health System. And it's actually a curriculum that was written by Dr. Anderson. And it's not something you read or that it's not like it's homework. It's more like it's the place that you go to learn about how your body works. And so it's like this discovery book about, it's like an owner's manual for healthy living. And so as you're reading this book, you start to go, wow. And then there's a workbook that allows you to take what you learned and it asks you to apply that to your life. And so you start to incorporate it. So it's not just head knowledge, but it's actually getting into you. And when that happens, oh my goodness, you start practicing healthy habits and you're going to become healthier. The third thing we talked about, many of us on this call tonight are health coaches. I know Jamie and Nick are health coaches. Linda is their coach, and I'm Linda's coach. And so we all have a coach. And so that's a really critical piece. If we try to get healthy by ourselves, I don't know about you, but I often, if I've got an idea to wake up tomorrow at 6 a.m. and go working out and the alarm goes off and nobody but me knows, I will push the snooze button often. But if my coach knows that that was my plan for the week, and when we talk, I'm going to tell him what I did, somehow that just changes the dynamics. It's always better when you have a buddy. And so you have a health coach with this program that walks with you through all the phases. And then we have a community. You're experiencing some of that community. We do this every week at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. on Tuesdays. And we get together and we talk about healthy stuff and we share healthy stories. So just kind of in summation, we help you with the nutrition piece, getting your water and your sleep and nutrition and the carbs and proteins. We help you with all that. And that's an ongoing learning thing. And we have the Habits of Health system, which teaches you about goal setting and all those other things. And then you have the support system of not only a health coach, but a community of people. And when we put all three of those together, lives just begin to change. It's just that simple. It happens. And so I want to open this up a little bit to you guys here. And you may have a comment for Jamie or Nick. Maybe you have a question for me. But I'd love to hear a little bit of feedback from something that jumped out with you, and we'll go from there. Kit, looks like you're up first.
Yes, cool. First of all, thank you guys for sharing. That's so awesome. You can just see how happy you guys look just while you're talking about your journey, which I think is really great. Just kind of like at a personal level with what you guys kind of have dealt with and gone through. What would you say was easier for you to do physically after losing the weight that you did? Just one thing that comes to mind.
Tying my shoes. That, I tell you, it may seem like the smallest, most trivial thing, but that was something that has just been so noticeable. Probably a little more physically, when I do like sit-ups or push-ups or something, just hovers. I'd try and do some strength and conditioning type things, and just having more flexibility in my body to be able to do that. That has been tremendously noticeable.
For me, it's probably just being able to get up the stairs quickly to the crash that happened at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Just being able to move. Another one for me is just getting up in the morning. I actually can get up in the morning without hitting my snooze. I have the energy to get up. So
That's awesome. You guys look so great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate that.
All right. Stacy, go ahead.
Yeah, so mine's kind of geared towards the family end of things with you guys, because I also have 3 small kids ranging from 11 down to 11 months. And one of the biggest struggles that I have is when I'm cooking for them, not nibbling off their plates. Like tonight we did a lean and green jambalaya, and they got rice with theirs. I withheld the rice, but my son had a little bit of rice left over, and I must admit that I did not resist taking a couple nibbles of his rice left over. So what are some things that you guys did as far as being able to supply your lean and green meals for yourself while not, indulging in the things the kids like to eat?
Kids things. I really learned that I'm not a garbage disposal. That I gave myself the freedom. I always ate their peanut butter crusts because, they don't eat the crust of the peanut butter jelly sandwich, and I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, especially after not having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But I just learned I'm not the garbage disposal, and I gave myself the freedom to throw their crusts away. That was kind of like a huge deal for me, to say it's okay to throw their crusts away. I've changed their portions. They don't get as much food because they don't eat it. So when they don't eat the food, now I'm throwing it away. So I'm having them ask for seconds. And they're little. They're small, so I have to kind of prime the pump. Are you still hungry? This is all that there is tonight. But I did, because if I didn't change their portions, I clean their plate. If I do change their portions to their size, they clean their plate. And that's what I want them, their healthy habit, is to know when they're done. And then just the permission to throw it away. Like, it's hard, but it's okay. Peanut butter crust will come and go.
Here's a little bit of a vivid, and I know this will stick in your mind, is it's either going to go in the garbage or the toilet, right? It's one or the other. And if it goes in the toilet, then it has to become part of you in the process. And so you have to consider, do I want to have that thing become part of me first and then be thrown away? Or do I just want to take it maybe and just go straight to the garbage can? And now I don't have to deal with the baggage of the next day and the regret and all of that kind of stuff that ends up lingering long after that flavor was gone from your tongue. And those are those things in the moment I say toilet or garbage. And so that's what happened to me. But when I was on my weight loss journey, this has been years ago, we didn't cook differently. We wanted our kids to learn what a healthy lean and green was, and so we don't have rice in the house because rice is high glycemic and it's at its core, and so high glycemic things are less healthy choices than low glycemic things, and so we use rice alternatives. So we use riced cauliflower, and that is a great low glycemic alternative. So we don't miss rice. If we do have rice, it's when we would go out to eat, which we don't do very much. And even then, it's like not something that I know it's not going to be good for me. And so I'd rather feel good and have it taste good. So those are things that we did. But you get creative with your lean and greens, and we were trying to teach our children how to know how to eat 6 times a day, why that's good. And we wrote them a note when they went to school that at 10 o'clock, my son got to have one of his bars, and he's not supposed to have food in the classroom. And so I wrote him a note saying it's to balance his blood sugars. He doesn't have a problem with blood sugars, but it actually does balance your blood sugars. And so he was able to study and stay on track more when he didn't have that blood sugar dip. So those are some strategies that I specifically use. So, all right, Richard, you're up next. You have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right. First of all, Mr. White, thank you for acknowledging that you couldn't tie your shoes, because that's why I'm back in the gym. I couldn't tie my shoes myself. For both of you, was there any other things that motivated you to want to get healthy or to lose weight, or was it just the things that you explained earlier?
For me, it's been more of a lifelong battle for me. I mean, I've been overweight my entire life. I mean, that's the big picture of it for me. I wanted this to be an area that I could overcome because, to be honest, it felt like my health had just gotten the best of me. And especially since over these last 10 years of marriage, of working and kids and parenting and just so many other of life's demands, I just felt like I had lost control, and I needed to be able to retake some of that control back in my life where I felt like I was spiraling, and be able to set healthy boundaries where I had no boundaries. And it was things like that that have been a more mental boost for me than anything, because I felt like I just really needed just to take charge again. I mean, this is something that I had let defeat me far too many times, and I just wanted to be able to say, look, this is not going to defeat me, because I started to really understand that I'm setting an example for my kids. And if I want them to really think that, dad's taking a hold of something that he hasn't been able to overcome before, but now he's doing that, that's going to send a huge message to them in the long run about being able to overcome and do hard things. Because in a lot of ways it's been hard, but in a lot of ways it's not really been so hard, because we found a program that's worked for us, and then we've been able to stick with it. And we just encourage each other through that. The fact that we've done this together has meant more to us than anything. I mean, it's just helped us be on the same page. It's helped us to encourage each other when we've had those moments, weak moments, and I mean, that's been huge. So
we also live in Colorado, and there are mountains, and there are places to go and hike and do stuff, and we spent our days looking at the mountains instead of enjoying them. So like, we want to get out there. So this summer we are looking forward to like actually experiencing the mountains and hiking and rock climbing and being up there and being active, instead of like, oh, that's a great mountain, and not being able to get up there. And there's no air where we live. So like, we got to be able to be healthy so we can breathe.
Yeah. Also, what part of Colorado do you guys live in?
We're in the Springs, Colorado Springs.
So am I. So am I. And what's funny is I've decided to attempt to do the incline. You guys heard of that?
Yeah.
I've done it.
So that
for the first time, and it killed me, and I thought, something's got to change.
Yeah, so I'm working towards that, so hopefully I can run into you guys. So
oh yeah, that'd be great.
Well, you know what, you guys, Richard and Jamie and Kit and Linda, you're getting like this little health club of healthiness over there in Colorado, and why don't you guys plan to do something and just take some video it and share it with us? That would be, we'll talk about that, planning something like that. But anyway, such great questions. Thank you, Jamie and Nick, for sharing your story with us tonight. That's going to conclude the stories tonight. So if you heard something here that struck a chord with you, connect with the person that invited you. And then if you you think of somebody, if you thought of somebody tonight, I'll have this recording of this posted on our Facebook page, and so you'll have access to it by connecting with the person that invited you, or you'll know how to get this. But think about sending this to somebody. What if these stories tonight was a catalyst, was the thing that was necessary, that like sparked something that they said, okay, I'm just gonna do this, and their lives changed because you thought and cared about them. Now, if they don't want to, and many people won't, that's fine. But what if they did? And so that's why someone was bold enough to talk to me, and I was bold enough to talk to Linda and Jay and find out about them, and then Linda and Jay found Jamie and Nick, and and all of you are here because somebody invited you. And so I just want to encourage you. This is a really big time of year where everybody has healthy things on their mind. They're going to resolve to make a change that's going to make 2016 better than 2015. And I'll tell you what, for most people, it won't be. 2016 might be worse than 2015. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to do everything in my power, and I'm going to work together with you guys to make it better. And who else can we bring on here and share and be inspired? I don't know, but I'm hoping there's more people. And so thank you for joining us tonight. And for those of you that are coaches, we're going to slip into a coaches training. Anybody is welcome to stay on. We're going to talk about some strategies and some things that we're doing and some events that are coming up. So you're welcome to stay. But if you have to go, thank you for coming and being part of this. Good night, everybody.